And how has been your experience working with the fluorescence visualization technology?
So it's been a long, interesting thing. It started with fluorescence endoscopy in the lung, and then a little bit of fluorescence in skin, and then the oral cavity. And I like to say that the oral cavity fluorescence was sort of in E-time. The previous ones, it took a while to get into the market. For the fluorescence visualization, because it worked so well, it just took off.
In practice, because we don't really have any kind of oral screening in the country. I come from India, and also most countries, outside of India. So what will be your message to oral healthcare providers in the context of trusting the system of fluorescence visualization?
So the fluorescence visualization has been used in North America in thousands of clinics. And it's like any other new form of visualization. It takes a little training in order to understand how to use it properly. But once that training is accomplished, it appears to work reasonably well, finding things that you wouldn't see normally otherwise. So things that are traditionally not visible as lesions, or you're not suspicious that they're the lesions, they become more visible. The other side effect that we've seen is that people who are using the fluorescence visualization, they actually start to get better at recognizing it under white light as well.
And when we combine fluorescence visualization with cytology, and specifically automated DNA image cytometry, how has been your experience?
So the fluorescence visualization is very sensitive, but could be more specific. So the natural thing is then you either take a biopsy or brushing. Brushing is a whole lot easier to take than a biopsy for the patient. So with the brushing, and the brushing has sufficient sensitivity and specificity that the two in combination make a great deal of sense. And because the brushing is non-invasive and actually can cover a fairly large area, whereas if you've got a biopsy, you have to decide where you're going to take it. There's some definite advantages to that. In BC, the actual way that it's done here, someone will have a fluorescence a regular examination, which may or may not include fluorescence visualization, and then frequently they will get a brush biopsy, and then if that comes back positive, then they would refer to one or two, three dysplasia clinics to see what the next step would be.
And when you use the phrase brush biopsy, when it is used with a DNA image cytometry system, the sensitivity and specificity are fairly high, correct?
Yes.
And what kind of studies have been done in that context?
In that context, so we've done a number of studies. The first one was just looking at whether or not you could use it for detection of cancer, and that came back positive. It was very sensitive and specific for that, and for many forms of the dysplasia. There's a current study being done which is looking at confounders, so specifically, in the sense that you can have something that doesn't look normal under fluorescence or white light, and can you differentiate those from dysplasias using the DNA ploidy from a brushing? And so far the answer seems to be yes, and the sensitivity as the disease gets worse gets higher.